This is a guide on reinstalling the front assembly on the Apple iPhone 6s Plus. For the reinstallation process, we will need the following tools: pentalobe screwdriver, suction cup, plastic pick, phillips screwdriver, and a flat screwdriver. The front assembly contains the frame, the glass digitizer, and the LCD screen. We highly recommend replacing the entire front assembly if any of these components are broken. Turn off the phone by holding the power button on the side and confirming the shutdown on screen. Remove 2 screws from the bottom of the phone with a pentalobe screwdriver. Keep track of all the screws. Place a suction cup at the bottom of the display, just above the home button. Pull on the suction cup and insert the plastic pick between the front assembly and the main body. Gently move the plastic pick around the perimeter of the phone, separating the front assembly from the main body. Open the iPhone from the bottom edge to a right angle. Next step is to disconnect the battery. The battery connector is located under a small metal shield. Remove 2 tiny Phillips screws holding the shield in place. Remove the shield. Disconnect the battery. The front assembly connectors are located under the EM shield, which is held in place with 5 Phillips screws. Remove the screws while holding the front assembly at a right angle to the main body. Remove the EM shield. Now we have access to the front assembly connectors. Using a plastic pick, gently open the 3 small connectors. Separate the assembly from the main body and lay it down. Take the replacement front assembly and place it beside the old one. Some components have to be transferred from the old front assembly onto the replacement part, namely the big metal shield, home button, front camera with sensors, and the earpiece. Proceed on removing the components that need to be transferred. Start with the home button, which is held in place with a metal bracket. Remove 2 Phillips screws, securing the bracket, and set the bracket aside. Use a flat screwdriver to open the home button's connector. Proceed on removing the big metal shield. Remove 3 screws on the right side, 1 at the top, and 3 more screws on the left side. Remove the big metal shield. Take a plastic pick and gently push the home button out from the front of the assembly. Pay attention to the rubber membrane and the cable. It should stay with the button. Set the home button aside. Next step is to remove the metal bracket covering the earpiece, front camera, and sensors. Remove the 3 tiny Phillips screws. Set the bracket aside. Lift the front camera on its flex cable and remove the earpiece underneath. Using tweezers, carefully separate the camera with all the sensors and the cables from the front assembly. Set them aside. Set the old assembly aside. Put the replacement part on the desk and remove the protective film. Take the camera with all the sensors on the cable and using the tweezers, carefully guide each part in place. Replace the earpiece. Make sure that all the components are properly aligned and cover them with the metal bracket. Secure it with 3 Phillips screws. Next, replace the home button. Insert the button into its hole, paying attention to the rubber membrane around it. Reconnect the home button to the front assembly. Replace the big metal shield. Secure it with Phillips screws around the perimeter, 1 screw at the top, 3 screws on the right side, and 3 more screws on the left side. Replace the metal bracket over the home button and secure it with 2 Phillips screws. At this point, we can reconnect the front assembly to the main body. Align the front assembly at a right angle to the top edge of the iPhone. Hold the assembly vertically and gently snap in all 3 connectors. Caution! It is very important not to force any of the connectors. All connectors are very fragile. Now we can test the device, reconnect the battery and turn the phone on. If the startup graphics appears, the front assembly is installed correctly. Turn the phone off and finish the reinstallation process. Replace the EM shield securing the 3 connectors. Secure it with 5 Phillips screws. Replace the small metal shield over the battery connector. Secure it with 2 Phillips screws. Close the phone and press around the perimeter, making sure that the front assembly snaps firmly in place. Replace 2 pentalobe screws at the bottom. Remove the protective film, turn on the phone, and we're done.